All right, so now we're gonna get into the kipping handstand push-up. So we've all done this portion. Before I would do the tripod and then tripod roll the push-up. We're actually just gonna put that together. I don't think that we need to separate those two. So the tripod position is just developing the kipping handstand push-up position. So hands right outside the shoulder. So I always look at it like this. If I'm in push-up position and I can just touch my head, that's how I kind of know where my hands go. It's different for everyone, but what you want to do, and we talked about this in our very first drill, is making a triangle. When we talk about when we go down in the handstand push-up, I want to push my head towards the wall, right? So I have enough room for that to happen. My head and my hands are in a triangle, and that's why they call it a tripod, right? We don't want our hands in line with that, or wider. So what we're gonna do is two things. We're gonna ball up, and then we're gonna take our knees and put them on our elbows. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna tilt your hip, basically tucking it in. And I think that's gonna be key in the kipping handstand push-up, because most people just try to kick their legs and kick up, but you actually need to load to the point where this happens right here. So if you look at my hip, it comes in. So we need to know what that feels like. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ball up into that position, come up with control, come back down into that ball. And on this, I want you to watch my hips, because once I get my knees past the waistline, you'll see my hips break down with me. They'll roll down with me. And then we're just gonna kick to a push-up. And this is just the start of what the kipping handstand push-up even looks like. So, push-up position, walk, put my knees on my elbows, and if you look at my hips, I'm just gonna push my stomach down, control, find the wall, and then right here, watch my hips. We're gonna roll to push-up. So, if your hips don't come down, you're not gonna be able to push away from the wall. So I want all my weight to shift back to my hands. So I'll do it one more time so you can see it. Watch the weight. My weight's gonna shift. Push. So that's what we wanna do in that. Let's do 3 of those. That's drill number 1. Better. So what I mean is, I'm using my stomach.
Oh, okay.
Now watch my hands. Roll.
Okay.
Right? That's what we want. Can you just... In the strength stuff, negatives and static holds is going to be our way to get stronger. So we're going to do the kipping handstand push-up, but we're still going to roll to the push-up, but we're going to do the negative of what the handstand push-up cadence would be. So the cadence is, I'm going to kick up to the wall. Once I kick up to the wall, in this order, head descend down, my head touches, hips on the wall, knees down. And then that's where my hips are gonna come down. Our focus on this is to feel the weight shift into our hands, or we're just gonna roll to a push-up. So we're doing a negative cadence of a kipping handstand push-up. Okay, so it looks like this. Heads, head, hips, knees, roll. Head, hips, knees, roll. And if you want to position here. Head, hips, this is what you need to do right here. That's what I want. Because that, by me putting my weight that way, it shifts me away. So the actual kipping handstand push-up, that looks like I can see all of it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to load the hips, and the biggest thing, it takes us back to our pike box handstand push-up, is as I push away from the wall, so if we'll say my feet, this is where my hand distance would be, and this is where my head is. What we want to do is as we press up, my head comes up through to this position. So as I go down, my head goes down and away, and I go through. So the biggest, I guess the easiest way I can explain this is like in a strongman competition or a strongman movement, they have that log press. You'll see their pressing motion where it's out here like this, and you'll see them go like this. And then to get through, they put their head through. We talk about it with thruster, strict press. That's how we get through. So with the kipping handstand push-up or handstand push-up, alone, we want that same motion. So rather than going straight up and down, we actually want to press through. So from the side angle, you'll be able to see as I kip, instead of me going straight up, you'll see my head go through. So what we're gonna work on is we're gonna work on the cadence. We're gonna go down slow, but load fast. So the load fast would be my knees coming down and me shifting my weight up, and then instead of kicking to push up, kick back up to the wall. So from the side profile, it's gonna look like this. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And Rio, specifically, when you were doing it, you saw this. We want to get all the way through one motion when I get up to the top. It's one of the most common mistakes that are made. So work that slow down, head, hips, load, push. And try their feet super wide. And they just have their legs completely straight. So if you think about it like that, if my legs are straight rather than bent, like I'm using my hamstrings and my butt to make like that whip action. So what I want to do is be in that crouch position, but I'm using my core, my glutes, my hamstrings to like spring me out of the bottom. So it's gonna look like this here. And this might help you understand this position. So right here is the motion. So if I can just spring down and up, that's what we want to focus on, right? And you'll see some guys just go straight up and down, but getting through, this is the other style, feet in and through. That's what I like because you're gonna be able to push, but that comes from here, right? So let's give that a try. You don't have to put your feet super wide, but just think about loading.